I think that the toolkits are really useful because although they're aimed at women and girls, they can be accessible for anybody else that's involved in the sport. So referees and coaches that don't experience the things that women experience, they can still have an understanding and adapt based on that.
Yeah, I think they're really good for normalising kind of your periods and your breast health, because it's a really important part of being female, and actually just recognising sometimes you might not want to train due to kind of where you fall in your cycle and stuff like that, and just knowing that that's okay, and that kind of everyone around understands, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's like going off of that point. I remember when we had our first conversation of menstrual health and all the male staff left the room, and it was kind of that awkwardness, and I think it's great that actually there's the bit of information there that can help everyone kind of understand, and actually that it can be a bit more of a superpower, and there's different phases and there's reasons why we have it, and there's things to help alongside it. So I think it's really important to have those things, and they're so accessible for the kids and people playing in the sport. Yeah, I think match officials and other people involved in the sport should be aware of like menstrual health and the menstrual cycle and breast health. And I think because it's such a big impact into us as female players, like being in certain meetings in rooms and stuff, you hear about how the wrong fitting bra can have a massive effect on how heavily you breathe, your aerobic capacity around the pitch, stuff like that. Also back pain, like things like that. I think it's really important that actually it might be stuff that you go to the physio with that can be really easily fixed with just the right fitting bra, and similarly with the menstrual cycle, like medications to help, or just having like a herbal tea at a certain time of a month might actually help that rather than taking the medication. So I think it's really important that everyone involved in sport and in general, to be honest, understands it, and now the research is coming out. I think it's a really exciting time.
I think there's still quite a lot of barriers around talking about it. I think it's still a little bit of a taboo topic, and something that, I don't know, is a bit expected. You kind of keep to yourself and you just get on with it and work through it, when actually you don't have to, and there's so many different ways to help, that actually if you do feel comfortable talking to it, to like doctors, physios, even coaches, like if you're just not feeling good to train, I'm feeling like you can have that chat, and that they're open to it and not kind of, I suppose, cringing away from it as soon as you say anything to do with like your periods or anything like that. So yeah, I think it's getting better, but there's definitely still a bit of work to be done.
I think having access to the toolkits will massively benefit female players, just because having an awareness of differences that you may experience in your cycle, or I guess from day to day and person to person as well. So making sure that you have an understanding of your cycle, but also the people around you, because the people in your team as well, they might not be performing and there might be a reason for that. So I think understanding each other and understanding that everybody's different is also massive, and the toolkits will really help with that. I think that it's really important as well. I know that certain injuries are more prevalent in the women's game, and I think that if people have an understanding of types of preventions and policies they can put in place for them as individuals to make sure they're trying as hard as they can to prevent injuries, will keep as many people in the game as possible, and then it's growing participation as well.
I think within our England squad we've definitely seen a change of attitude towards like women's health, and even like our SSCs are joining in with the male SSCs are joining in with the pelvic floor exercises, which I think is great. I think there's still a bit of a way to go. I think there's still quite a lot of taboo, especially if you were ever like to a male staff, oh, can you please go and get some tampons? I think they'd probably struggle a little bit or feel a bit awkward. But I think the more we talk about it and the more we, say it actually does affect our performance, like it's important that they understand that and they know. And I guess the more research and the more things that go out about it, the more like open they'll be to talking about it.